I ended up booking 10 indexing projects that were all due in the same 2-month period. And to cut a long story short, it was a disaster. I was working super long hours, 65 hours a week, late into the night, on weekends. It messed with my family and personal life. It totally screwed up things for my clients and their publishers. And it was just mortifying. And when that happened, I knew something had to change with the way I was doing indexing. The reason I did this is because I was trying to make more money with my indexing work. And I decided to do that by taking on more work. I usually get paid about $1,800 on average for an index. Takes me about anywhere from 40 to 80 hours, depending on the length of the book. And it's usually the author who has to pay for these indexes. I've recently discovered that up to half of the authors who publish academic works aren't able to afford indexing. And so they either attempt to do the indexes themselves or the books get published without any index at all. Publishers these days almost never provide indexes for the authors. They tell the author it's your responsibility to get an index for your book. You can either do it yourself or you can hire a professional to do it for you. So when an author attempts to index their own book, they often end up drowning in some unfamiliar labor that is way more daunting than they expected. And that can lead to a confusing or underfinished, incomplete index. And that will lead the publisher to force the author to hire someone. Maybe the publisher will hire someone themselves. They might just publish the index as is, or they might publish the book without any index at all. And pretty much all of these outcomes are bad for everyone. For professional indexers, for the authors, for the publishers, and ultimately for the readers who need indexes, who need high quality indexes in order to successfully use these books as the scholarly tools that they're meant to be. Or sometimes regular readers will need good indexes too to find out whether or not they want to buy the book, because it might not actually be about what they want it to be about, and they'll check the index to see if this is the book they actually want. Yeah, an index ends up being an unexpectedly important component of the book for its marketability and sales. So there's a 4-tiered problem here. We've got indexers who are working really hard doing a very specific, complex kind of labor, and they are limited in how much money they can actually make because there's only so much time in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year to make indexes. We've got authors who have given their heart and soul into their scholarship and written these books, and if they end up without a good index, that affects the saleability and the ultimate usability of their books as scholarly text. We've got publishers who also rely on sales of these books. Indexing is surprisingly important to the saleability of books. And then finally, we have readers who are impacted by poor quality or missing indexes because they can't use the books in the way that they were really intended to be used. We know what the real source of this problem is. Over the last number of years, we've had the humanities and books and literacy in general just degraded and defunded. And so year after year, there's less and less money for indexing, which means there's less and less money for high quality books, for high quality scholarship, and for serving readers the way that they ought to be served by books. And this is why I've built SeeAlso, is because I love books, I love scholarship, I love small publishers. I want them to succeed. I want readers to have the best quality books that they can get. And these huge problems can be really overwhelming and make us feel like there's nothing we can do about them. And that's true in many senses, but this is a way that I've found that I'm able to intervene in this problem and help solve it for a lot of different people involved. I'm really trying to solve this problem here, or at least contribute to solving the problem. And so if you feel the same way or have anything to say about what I'm talking about in these videos, first of all, thank you for watching. But if you've got anything to say about this, whether you agree or disagree, please comment below. I would love to know what you think. Thank you very much.